Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb joins us now. Avi, great to see you. I'm sure you were watching on the edge of your seat just like the rest of us were. So for you, does this image that we are seeing today settle the whole it's a comet or it's not a comet debate?
Well, I was not disappointed or surprised by the NASA officials. I was really disappointed by the quality of the image because it's smeared by the jitter and the motion of the camera. So we can't really see much better than before. And in fact, the Hubble image was far more informative. We haven't learned anything significant today. The fact that there is hydrogen around the object is not surprising because there is water, and water can be broken into hydrogen and hydroxyl OH molecules, and we have evidence for OH molecules from radio observations. In fact, even this morning one was reported by Meerkat, the radio observatory in South Africa. So altogether, there was little news. And that's what I was worried about. After a long delay of 45 days, we didn't learn much more. In fact, the amateur astronomer images that we were able to watch in recent days were far more informative. And they are the instruments that took them cost thousands of dollars, not $1 billion like the NASA instruments. So I would argue that it was mostly a discussion by NASA officials about what they expected this object to be, but not what the object really is. And as Sherlock Holmes said, an obvious fact is very deceptive because you are ignoring they basically didn't mention any of the anomalies, the unusual facts about 3I Atlas, like its huge mass that is 1,000 times more than the previous object, 1,000,000 times more than the first object, and the fact that it moves in the plane of the planets that allowed the NASA observatories to see it. That is an unusual coincidence. You multiply the probabilities for both of these, you get 1 in 100,000 chance. And then on top of that, there is the unusual composition, the jets. But the good news is we don't need to wait for NASA to tell us, because there will be a flood of data in the coming weeks leading to December 19th when the object comes closest to Earth, and we would figure out the composition, the speed, and the amount of mass coming out in these jets. And once we know that, we can compare it to what we expect from pockets of ice on the surface of a rock. And if it's much different, it might be thrusters.
Might be thrusters, and that's what everybody, at least it's got a lot of people's attention. I love the image that we were just showing, the one that was captured from New Mexico, especially when you realize that, again, those are Earth-based telescopes and not the most exquisite ones we have. That is like 20 million miles away, I believe. So hopefully we're going to be seeing some more images. Maybe somebody's taking one right now. But I do want to talk a little bit more about the size of it with the new data that we're seeing from NASA. Like, are we settling around an actual size here? Does it look like it's miles wide?
No, in fact, the image that you are just showing now has a scale of a fraction of a degree, and that is like 100 million. That is of order 100,000 to 1,000,000 kilometers at the distance of 3I Atlas. It's not really probing the nucleus much. So these are very fuzzy images that we obtained today from NASA. We can't say much. But when we look with the largest telescopes on Earth or with the Webb telescope in the coming weeks, we might actually get much better resolution images than we had before. So I will just stay tuned for this new data that will come in the coming weeks. The press conference by itself did not really provide us with anything significant.
And we will do that here at Stay Tuned. We will stay tuned for more. Avi Loeb, always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so very much.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.